Hey everybody, welcome back to the next video from the Beardy and the Baldy channel. It's Beardy's Books for my comic book haul on today, Wednesday, September 21st. It is a huge week, so this is going to be a real fast burn through on a couple of things. I'll try to highlight a couple that particularly stood out, but this is basically just going to be running through each book. Not a whole lot of in-depth stuff. I do want to point out real quick before I go, watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premiere this morning, and I love the way they did the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider. I think the effects were great. I think it fits great into the show, and I'm really intrigued to see where it goes and some of the other things they are setting up. So it's great to have S.H.I.E.L.D. back on TV and all that. So, and I'll probably be doing some TV reviews and stuff going forward now that the new shows have started, or all the fall shows have come back for the new season and everything. So anyway, to get things started for the comic haul today, I wanted to check out Seven to Eternity. It's a new offering from Image Books from Rick Remender and Jerome Opeña. This book, it's probably getting a lot of hype online. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about it. I know it's been coming for a while, and it's pretty amazing. The artwork is gorgeous. The story's pretty cool. It's another amazing Rick Remender sci-fi adventure. I mean, some crazy awesome stuff going on in here. It's really cool. So that's not at the top of my list because it's the one I like the least. It was the top because I wanted to make sure I got some of that in there. It's really cool. Highly recommend Seven to Eternity. Issue 1 is out today. So check your local shop for that. If they don't have it, see if they can get some ordered in for you. It was really cool. All right, now on to the regular list. Uncanny X-Men 13. It involves the team is further investigating the stuff going on with the Someday Corporation or Someday Foundation. I can't remember what it was. The company that was putting mutants to sleep to avoid the Terrigen Mist disaster that's going on, and everything's not quite what it seems to be, and there's a big reveal of a villain that we've not seen for quite some time in the X-Men books on the very last page. So check that one out. And Extraordinary X-Men Annual #1. 2 short stories in here. One's a prison break. One's a cool story with Forge and Moon Girl. The prison break was kind of fun story, but I really like the second story in the back. Forge, we have a problem. It's Forge and Moon Girl. It is pretty cool. As far as annuals go, it doesn't feel like it has any major repercussions as to the overall story of what's going on, but it does highlight stuff involving the Terrigen Mists, which with Death of X, IVX, and then in a couple, I'm not sure when it starts, but when Resurrection comes, the whole mutant inhuman thing is going to be coming into play. So it feels like they're kind of seeding some things there for the future, but nothing that feels like it hits the current story that's going on. Next up, the next chapter of Green Arrow, where Green Arrow and his is a half-sister have to fight their way out of Yakuza control and actually deal with the Time King, or Clock King? Clock King? I'm a horrible fan, aren't I? Really cool book. I'm really enjoying the artwork. Again, cannot recommend Green Arrow enough. Really cool book. All right, the long-awaited issue 5 of Civil War II. Again, Bendis and Marquez deliver a quality issue. Great artwork. Some fights are finally going down, and there's a jaw dropper on here that towards the final pages that kind of threw me off. So I had to look over it twice to realize what I was looking at. Not the image, but what followed it. So anyway, Civil War II, they're finally fighting, and with only 3 issues left, it's about time. Not that I like seeing the heroes fighting each other, but and for the record, if you're keeping track, most of the Marvel books, the weekly books, are not like Civil War II is further ahead than the rest of the Marvel universe. It feels like, because a lot of things are still just referencing stuff going on with the Hulk and the trial of Hawkeye and everything, and we're now well past that as far as the events of this book go. Next up, Justice League #5. Continuing the story with the giant people. these giant beings that are made up of humans from all over the world that have been like melded together. It's really cool. I really enjoyed this story arc. It's been a lot of fun seeing the team come together and what they do. Yeah, and again, this was really cool, and I loved. It feels like this is kind of Superman's first kind of run-in with the Justice League as a team, where they're all working together, and he kind of really proves his stuff to them. Man, I cannot love the Superman stuff they've been doing since Rebirth enough. It's just really cool stuff. Next up, Mighty Thor, number 11. The shocking conclusion of the last issue was that Jane Foster showed up while Thor was being interrogated and being accused of being Jane Foster. So myself and the characters in the book were like, what? Who is, how is, what? And the reveal in this and how it works ends up being really cool. There's a really awesome fight sequence in here. Fantastic artwork, as always, from Russell Dodderman. Great story from Aaron. And just getting things built up towards what's going to come, I think, with Unworthy Thor. Not that this directly ties into the Unworthy Thor at the moment, but looking forward to where that comes in a couple months. Archie 12. Ooh, this is the teen drama, the angstiness of the fallout of last issue, where Archie was seen hugging his old girlfriend, Betty, and everybody is upset. And it just shows the further complications of relationships in the teenage world, and I guess sometimes beyond, depending on maturity levels and whatnot. But anyway, great book. I've really been loving Archie. Can't wait to see where the story goes next, because they tease that Cheryl Blossom will now be coming into the story. So that should prove to be an interesting mix-up for all the characters. Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 62. Got Casey featured on the cover there. This kind of picks up some action and pretty good drama and setup after the big exposition-heavy yet awesome issue 61. There's this really great sequence with Mikey and Raph that I really liked. Raphael as being my favorite Turtles character since I was a kid. And it's just really cool kind of setting things up as where things are going. And I'm starting to get the feeling, Mikey's had his problems with Splinter since the Turtles Splinter assumed control and leadership of the Foot Clan. I'm starting to feel there might be something more than that going on that will be revealed in time. But anyway, we'll see. Ninja Turtles 62. All right, up next, Aquaman 7. This is a really cool issue. It feels like a lot of the stuff they've been building to in the first, half dozen issues or so are really starting to pay off here. The attack on the ship, the USS Pontchartrain, or however you say that. Aquaman is investigating, trying to figure it out, what's going on, and we as readers know who did it, but as the characters don't. And with we saw Black Manta assume leadership of the Nemo Foundation at the end of the last issue. We see his continual rise to power within that organization in this issue. So setting up some really cool stuff, I think. DC's been doing a lot of really cool slow build, slow burn arcs with some of their stuff, and I'm finally starting to see that these are starting to pay off. And I'm glad they're doing these twice a month. Otherwise, this would be agonizingly slow if this was normal monthly books. Up next, all new Wolverine number 12, the fallout of Old Man Logan going berserk and stabbing, killing Gabby at the end of last issue, and seeing how things end up between him and Laura and all the things that are going on in here, and where some of these characters fall in regards to what's going on with Civil War II. Not necessarily Civil War II heavy, but it's really interesting. Captain America makes another appearance, the Steve Rogers Cap. So it's interesting to see how all this is playing out. Yeah. One of the books I was most looking forward to this week was Trinity by Francis Manapul, written and art by, it's the Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman story. I really like this. I love that this first issue kind of just sets up flashbacks to how the characters kind of perceive each other. of themselves, how they interact with Lois and Clark's son John, and what may be coming ahead. It kind of feels like those classic X-Men issues where they're out playing baseball and doing their thing. And I just look at this artwork. Look at that. I don't know, I just love that. Wonder Woman shows up at the Kent farm with a giant boar for dinner. So it's really cool, neat setup, and kind of like catch your breath thing with everything that's been going on. I really like, because you get to see a little bit more of the characters and the personalities and how they interplay with each other, and really liking that issue. I can't wait for the next one. Next up, I told you I was going to be burning through these. Superman number 7. Again, this is another kind of downbeat moment. Catch your breath, have fun. Clark decides to take Jonathan and Lois to the county fair, and you get to see them at the Hamilton County Fair. And it sounds kind of cheesy and corny or whatever, but I don't know. I love seeing Superman playing family man, not being the family man. It starts off with him zipping around the world overnight, helping out the other League members, and there's a great line in here where Batman says, "I don't recall asking for help," and Superman says, "I don't usually wait to be asked." And Batman says, "When it comes to me, start." Because, Batman's got to be grumpy and a sourpuss and doesn't need anybody's help, right? But anyway, it's a really cool issue. Really love the artwork on this. Where'd the name go? Of course, I can't find it. It's probably on the last page, because DC always mixes me up that way. Jorge Jimenez on the art. Loved his stuff when he was doing on Earth 2 Society, so I really enjoyed this issue. Definitely need to go check that one out. And the last one for my week this week is Empress 6, the penultimate issue of the first arc of the story, and it's really cool. It raises the stakes even higher with what happens here in this amazing sci-fi world. And they have some payoff to some sci-fi gimmickry that they set up previously that I had completely forgotten about until I read this issue, and I did not see come. But here's some of the interior art. So yeah, so that is Beardy's books for the week for September 21st, 2016. Head out to your shops, grab your comics, come to Comics Connection if you're in Mechanicsburg or York, Pennsylvania. We'll be happy to see you and help you pick out some stuff. And there's a ton of other new books out. This was a huge week, so there's a lot more stuff to read. This was just my massive list, and I know there's a lot more cool stuff out there that other people might be interested in. So that's it. We'll see you next time. And as fall descends tomorrow, I will be starting my top 13 movie countdown from bottom to top, starting over the weekend. So I'll see you next time. Peace.